there'll always be the need for people to see a show because it's just too pure and like caveman
and you can't get that sort of volume and that sort of impression in your local pub.
No.
You got noise restrictions, you got pokey, the vibe's totally different now than it ever has been,
It's gonna be weird, but we're the guinea pigs. We saw the old days.
Look, I mean, a pub I think that's really doing it right at the moment is somewhere like Eaton's Hill on the north side of Brisbane. Their band room's pretty fucking amazing. It's big, it holds a fair few people. The bar's not too bad. It's still pub prices, but they manage to sell gigs, and so I think it's probably more how the publicans are actually promoting things and seeing music and their local crowd, Are they more worried about having, the old fellas drinking their schooners every day from lunchtime onwards, or are they actually trying to bring a bit of music culture back to the local area? And a lot of them, take the easy option, the pokies and the old mate sitting there having a schooner.
You know what blows my mind is they every week will play at some venue and say, okay, it's 100 dB. And then there's not a single I'm generalising, right? But there's not a single person in the pub saying, oh, wow, if we just put a bit of sound tile here and here, we put that pot plant here and here, have a couple of these side things, it'll kill all that problem. Have the band play on carpet. Yep. It's amazing that no one's, perhaps Eaton Hill have forethought that. So, we can turn this into a quiet venue where they rock out. And
it's fully sound dead and it's underneath, it's downstairs,
All right.
They definitely saw a spot in the market and went, bugger it, let's have a crack. They're just about to open the new pub up at Bribey Island too, just before you go across the bridge. And they reckon that'll hold, out on the lawn there, they reckon they'll squeeze 5,000 to 10,000 people. So, I think that, there are still guys out there doing cool things.
Yeah. Well, they will be, because it'll be this never-ending need to strap on a guitar and
what's the one at Currumbin? Is it the Sound Lounge or whatever? Yeah. Is that upstairs at the RSL? There's always cool stuff happening there, man. Always. Yeah. It's not from being promoted a truckload. It's just because there's a dedicated bunch of people that will go to gigs there.
Yeah. And, hey, mate, we've spoken for an hour and 15.
There you go.
Good effort.
Are you cutting that at all?
Do I need to?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think we did pretty well, mate.
Yep. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
I want to thank you for coming in, man. Like I've said to other people that came in to see me, I've known you forever. When was the last time you and I sat down and just spoke?
I don't know, quite a while.
You know what I mean?
Talk on the phone from time to time.
It's a good thing. So I hope you enjoyed it, man, and come back in a month.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah, because you got a million more things to talk about.
Got heaps of things to talk about. Yeah. At the moment, the last parting comment, 1st of May, major rally in all capital cities and some regional cities, just to stand up against the forced closure of Aboriginal communities. I think probably the most important thing in the world at the minute. And
explain it, man, because I haven't read the paper. I'm really that.
That's fine. At the moment, you've got mining conglomerates and governments trying to close traditional land and traditional community land, and using the guise of we can't afford to keep the communities open. When how can you say that to someone who's lived on land for 50,000 generations? It wasn't our land in the first place. It never will be. And I think it's time we stood with our Indigenous and really stood up against the government and the profiteering side of big business and mining and stuff, and said, look, we've had enough. Our Indigenous culture and history needs to be cherished and learnt and shared. And 1st of May, I think if you look up, I was going to say SOS Black Australia, but it's BLAK rather than BLACK. SOS Black Australia. On any of the social media channels, you'll come up with something. But 1st of May is the next round of protests for that. So, yeah. And we'll talk more about that sort of stuff next time I'm here.
Yeah, man. All right.
Because there's plenty to be said about that stuff too. So.
When it's so obvious where a community is too,
I could talk for hours on it, mate. It's definitely another facet of my life that I'd like to do more of and really be more a part of the change that's needed for us all to just be Australian rather than races and colour and all that bullshit. So.
You know what? It's always just spun me out, man, is that you and I, okay, we grew up in Rochedale sort of area in south of Brisbane.
Fairly redneck south.
Yeah, okay. So, and then I lived in Sydney and then I lived on the Gold Coast. Been around everywhere. I couldn't tell you how to say hello in Aboriginal from any of the dialects, from any of the places. No one taught us how to say it at school in that dialect in that area. No one, not even hello, thank you, goodbye. The first thing you'd expect, like how ignorant.
Hello's pretty well. Main problem is there's a lot of dialect.
Yeah, but definitely the
just
one
the
you
local dialect to be cool.
Yeah.
I think you'll find in most education institutions now there is a certain Aboriginal element to the local study and stuff like that. But I've been lucky enough to work with a couple of the largest nations in the country, which is the Gamilaroi out around Moree, and their sister tribe, which is, well, it's not sister. Depending on which tribe you talk to, they're the warriors or the men or the women stealers. they say that, but the Wiradjuri, which is like Dubbo and stuff like that, and there's a lot to be learnt across a lot of it, and I think if everybody kind of does their bit and stands together with them, we should be able to make some sort of positive change. So
there's so much interesting things. Mate.
Yeah,
I've been getting into eating what's local, like.
Yeah.
This is stuff the council plant every day.
Yep.
Or that someone calls Matt Rush, but I've been eating it.
Yep.
I saw it on some internet thing. Like, what can you eat? This turns out there's everything around here.
Oh, there's heaps of stuff, man.
Can you believe it? Can you believe that there's this, all of a sudden, there would just been pigs and just pigs in 100 years,
Well, it's 240 years, but there's been a lot of injustice. And I don't really want to be, as a white Australian guy, I don't really want to be blamed for any of that historical stuff, but I'd rather be a part of the change and the movement forward to one mob or one Australia or whatever you want to call it. I definitely think that we all need to be involved and really stand up for what we believe in now. And the movement's definitely building, and
I always think that the start would just to know how to say hello.
Yeah.
And just really, it probably sounds like you're ignorant, but I would love to just say hello.
Yep.
Start that way. Say,
Gamilaroi easy. I know that one because I did a film clip out there last year with a company called Black Wattle called Yama Gubier. And Yama Gubier is like hello and welcome to country. Like there's a lot of words to it, but it's basically a hello and a welcome to country and a respect for our elders and our forebears and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, there's heaps to it. I mean, we could go on for another hour. You've just brought up another. You've just brought up another hour and a half's worth of discussion. But
this goodbye's gone for 10 minutes.
But my last solo film project was actually out on sacred land out at a place called Terry Hi out near Moree, with 40 elders and a few other Indigenous guys from the community and representatives from National Park, and we went out to Terry Hi to carvings and sacred places, like men's sacred business places where the carvings and the artifacts date back 50,000 generations, and it's always been a meeting place for men to discuss law and politics and culture, and it was an amazing experience. But that one's online too. It's Back to Country, Terry Hi from Black Wattle, I think the company was, and in partnership with another company I work for called Beyond Empathy. But that's a whole nother podcast that I could talk just on that side of my world.
Wow. And I didn't even know that about you. Serious.
Yeah,
so, mate. See you later.
Yeah, all good, mate. See you next time.